the very, very knowledgeable Illinois beer historian, as I think he is most appropriately addressed as. John is always a wealth of knowledge, and we always look forward to having him here on the show, and I'm glad this all came together, especially for our 100th episode. We do our webcast every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Our back catalog is available on our YouTube page. We have an audio podcast under the same name, A Nice Place to Brew, which we'll talk about more later on in the episode. Check us out there. Our website is www.aniceplacetobrew.com. And our social media links are Nice Place to Brew and A Nice Place to Brew. So I was digging through the fridge, looking for a beverage today, and tonight I am drinking Juice Pants from a brewery that I enjoy a great deal. That is Maplewood from Chicago. And this beer is held up very nicely. You will see down on the bottom of the can, there is a package date, which I don't know if you can see from the reflection, and I'm not spilling anything, is May 15th. If you've listened to previous shows, you will know that time is not always kind to these types of hazy beers. Well, so far, so good. Now, I may be speaking very soon because also a few shows ago, I had drank a hazy IPA that had been in my fridge for more than a year. For those beer drinkers out there, that's not advisable. If you buy your hazies, drink them. Don't let them sit around. They don't age well like imperial stouts. So anyways, I was brave one night. I opened one up during the broadcast, poured it into a glass like so. First couple of sips, pretty good. Further down that glass, not so much. So, what are you going to do? What else is going on? We did not have a show last night. I have had a brew day since the last broadcast, and we will talk about that here now that I am not all by myself. Hello, George.
All by myself.
Yeah, it wasn't looking real good.
No, you're good, man. We're here. I'm here.
Good. How are you?
Doing all right.
Good. Fresh off a trip?
Fresh off a trip.
All right. We'll
and
talk
with
about that
some
more.
Interesting beer excursions included. So.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to overhype it too much, but yeah.
All right. Well, I'm still excited to hear about it.
Yeah.
All right. I introduced my beer, which was Maplewood Juice Pants, a popular hazy series from Maplewood.
Okay.
Which is held up quite well since its package date of mid-May. So you're getting kind of around that time frame where the hazies start to get a little skunky. Maybe even a lot skunky, but so far so good. So what are you enjoying this evening?
I am enjoying a pineapple whip, which is a beer made by... I literally grabbed one out of my... It's made by Center of the Universe. Okay. It's an ale brewed with pineapple and vanilla beans in collaboration with Origin Beer Lab. And it's like a tropical vacation for the mouth. So we'll see how that goes.
Did they seriously spell that on that can, whip?
It's, whip. But I just put a little extra.
Whip.
Whip. Yeah. Looks to stank on it. So.
All right. Our guest has arrived. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, this man needs no proper introduction. He is an Illinois beer historian, an always amazingly knowledgeable man and guest here on A Nice Place to Brew. Please welcome, from Joliet, Illinois, Mr. John Bitterman.
It is full monk get up too. I like it.
Yeah.
Gonna be talking beer, looking like a monk. I like it.
Exactly. Oh, you got some really nice background. I like what you've done here.
Yeah, I think every time I've been on, I think I've been in a different room of the house.
That's true.
I was in the glass room once. I was in the basement once, and this time I'm in the Joliet room.
Okay.
Right on. Sorry, I
And,
lost my
if I
headphones
don't know
for a
the answer,
second.
I'll make it up.
We're not going to know the answer, so it's fine. You can make up whatever you want.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me back on, guys.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
absolutely.
Thank you. We've got a lot.
Congratulations on your 100th episode there.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Long time coming. So, no, but honestly, we kept a really steady schedule since really COVID-19. So, getting to 100 episodes, I think is a milestone in a lot of ways. So,
yeah,
we'll talk about that more later on in the episode. Anyway, we got a lot to talk about tonight. This is probably the right way to lead because John, it's been a while since you've been here on the webcast. Before summertime, at the very least. On George's end, you are coming back from another trip, and you've obviously had beer excursions during that time. So, John and George, I'm interested to hear from both of you. Where have your travels taken to you? What have you discovered that's been interesting? And John, for you, what's kind of new to the collection that has some really cool stories behind it?
Oh, jeez.
Since the first week of September, I've probably been to 70 breweries in the state of Illinois.
Oh, jeez.
Okay.
Wow.
Because it is, after all, Oktoberfest season. And, if you got a mug or a glass and it's Oktoberfest season, I'm showing up. Because I love Märzen's and Fest beers anyway. But if you've got a mug, it certainly grabs my attention. But that did mean that, like I said, I was as far south as the Champaign area. I was all the way up to Rockford, and pretty much every place in between in a straight line that runs through that area that had an Oktoberfest or a glass or something.
Right on.
I got a couple new breweries I'd never been to that hadn't been open for very long. I was to a couple of those. I was impressed with both of those. I spent 3 days in Minnesota, the Minneapolis, St. Paul area. Went up there for the Cubs Twins series.
Okay.
So I was bouncing around up in the Minneapolis, St. Paul area, visiting some breweries. I hadn't been up in that area for probably 15, 18 years, so that was kind of cool. And collection-wise, there's always something. I got a couple of labels coming that I had not known that existed from a Joliet brewery. I picked up a couple of nice Prohibition signs that had a malt can on them, really cool graphics from the 20s. I got a Meisterbrow reverse on glass. I got a couple of thermometers from the 50s. I got a barrel head from a brewery that I have nothing from before, from Joliet. It's been a good collecting year.
Nice.
So, wow, where do I begin? Wow, there's so many things of interest there. Okay, let's start off with the autumn season. You mentioned about being a fan of Märzen's and Fest beers.
Yeah.
Do you consider those like go-to beers for you? Is that a style that you seek out?
I do. I look forward to that time of the year every year. I look forward to that season. I like lagers more than anything else, and so it's like a bonus because everybody's working and making it and trying to do the best they can to get the best one out there they can. Especially when there's so many breweries who do it. And there were some really, really good ones. A couple that missed a little bit, but all in all, I thought everybody did a pretty solid job. I think in general,
what's going on here?
John, I need to take a second. Wait, who's doing what here?
I'm not doing that.
Are you not doing that?
No.
Polly, is that you?
What's going on?
The screen keeps clicking around.
Dude, it's like all I'm seeing is like 3 little itty bitty icons in the side. I can barely see any of you guys.
Okay.
What the hell is going on here?
All we see is the top of your head, dude. With your nose up.
There you go. There's Polly.
All right.
Polly's a little crabby today.
No,
more on that in a little bit.
Actually, I'm fine today. So
you're fine now. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had a birthday today, right?
It was a little salty earlier.
Yeah.
It wasn't salty. I was just saying I was going to be late, and Jason was giving me shit. And so was George. I'm tired that doesn't show up last week, so.
Hey, I told you.
Oh, gosh. Okay. Hey, listen, we're all here. It's our 100th episode, guys. This is a
yeah.
time to be excited.
I know, and I'm excited too. I've been trying to get it so I can see, and it's not like in the corner. You know what I'm saying?
But hey, John, going back to you, man. Now that we have that craziness sorted out, that that's a lot of travels there. Are you getting any kind of do you have some grants from the Illinois Historical Society or something? Because I feel
no grants from any museums. I get no grants from the Illinois Craft Brewers Guild. I just do it because I love it.
All right.
I do it because I love it.
Gotta love the passion there.
All right. So I'm going to ask 2 dangerous questions related to fest beers and Marzens. John, what was the best Oktoberfest beer that you had this year that you had not had before?
Ooh.
That I had not had before.
Yeah.
Oh.
Is there such an animal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said. That I'd not. There's a because I had Goldfinger, I've had Revolution, I had Urban Forest, I had Metropolitan, I had Art History. So many of them I've had to, last year and the year before. In the case of some of them going back, 4 or 5 years. There's a small brewery down south, right along the line where Emancipation Brewing Company is, a little bit between them and whatever city's on 59. It's Artesia Brewing Company. They've only been open for 8 months, maybe. I was pleasantly surprised with all of their beers, first off, and I did enjoy their Meriton as well. I thought they did a good job. That may be the only brewery I had been to have one that I hadn't had one before, a beer at all, or their Meriton. So, because we really have not picked up a whole lot of new breweries this year. It's been a little bit slow this year until coming up the next couple of weeks. I think we got 3 of them opening here in the state of Illinois. But in general, the few that have opened, they didn't make one. Printers Row didn't make one, and a couple of the others that recently opened. But they did have one, and it was a good one. That's where I'm going. I'm going with them. Final answer.
What kind of a brewery at this time of year is Marzen, Oktoberfest? We don't need to do that noise. That isn't that kind of a staple? Route 66 has one on before I put my foot too far in my mouth, right, Jim Polly?
Yeah. Which Mr. John Bitterman hasn't come and tried our Mr. Marzen.
No, I have not. There was quite a few I was neglectful to that I wanted to get to that I just didn't happen. And there's still a chance. I missed a couple of missed. I mean, I've always enjoyed what Mark Wilson makes over there at Oswego, and his is already off tap. I saw him at the guild meeting on Tuesday. I go, so got your Oktoberfest on? He goes, nope, it's gone. Oh, well.
They go quick sometimes.
Well, we have a couple kegs left, and actually we have some cans. So I don't know if you got that text from me the other day, John.
Yeah, I did. It's in the long list of unanswered things.
I kind of figured. Yeah, I
know the feeling.
He's too busy going to the big hype Chicago breweries instead of coming out to the local ones, half hour away from him.
I got to get on 55 unless I want to get on 53, and both those roads are, I'm sorry, dangerous death traps.
Yeah, you're not wrong about that.
Not your fault.
Yeah. So my second question related to Oktoberfest beers. Who's in the Hall of Fame of those beers? When you hear that style, let's keep it in Illinois for a second. Who's in the Hall of Fame for Oktoberfest releases?
Goldfinger.
Okay. Yes, I don't disagree.
Absolutely phenomenal. I mean, they lagered that beer for 6 months.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a commitment. Think how many turns he could have done on any other beer. I mean, granted, they only make lagers, so it doesn't.
That's tradition.
All their lagers are aged for weeks on end. But if he was a regular brewery to take and lager a beer for 6 months, if he was making IPAs, dear God, he could have made 12 IPAs in that time period, probably.
Did he talk about that? Did he actually carve out an entire tank for 6 months, or did he Find another way. Okay. Wow.
Yeah. No. Well, that's a commitment. Yeah, they made quite the commitment. Revolution was exceptionally good. Metropolitan, Brewhoff.
Metropolitan is quietly a damn good Chicago brewery.
Yeah. Brewhoff from Pollyanna was a really, really good one. Bourbon Four.
Kinslager make one?
No,
Good question.
No.
No?
Kinslager did not. No.
That's
Not unless I
Not
missed
make
it.
a Marzen.
They're a lager brewery too. You'd think they
Right.
would, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I do not remember seeing one. It may have just been on tap, and they may not have promoted it because I don't know their tap room situation because it is so small.
It is small
over there. I'm not sure what the tap room situation is. So if they did make one, they may not have promoted it very much because of that situation. I mean, I think the tap room seats 8 people, maybe.
I think it was a
15. I'll go 15,
that,
but it's not.
That sounds about.
So they do have an Oktoberfest Marzen on their website and an Oktoberfest Fest beer as well. So it looks like they did make one, but they may not have promoted it like you said. So
yeah, it's not a particularly large place, and they're down. There's only 2 left now in that general area because we lost. Wild Onion closed down their tap room because they never brewed beer there at Wild Onion, but Oak Park closed last Saturday. So that little corner of the state has lost two good places here in the past weeks or couple weeks.
Wow.
So that leaves just Kinslager, doesn't it? In Oak Park.
Kinslager, Exit Strategy, and then nearby in Berwyn would be Flapjack.
That's right, Exit Strategy. I didn't think of that.
But
yeah.
I'll tell you what, living in Oak Park for a while, there's a bunch of people there like, I don't know, that's Berwyn. You know?
And one lake's over there too. One Lake is over there. One Lake Brewing Company is over there as well. And actually, One Lake's got a barreled beer being released in a couple of weeks. I think Wednesday, the 18th or 19th of November. They're releasing their first barrel-aged beer over at One Lake, and they're there too. But you still had 5, and you lost 2 out of 5 in that general. And you're right about Berwyn.
Well, that's a little sketchy. Yeah. Well, man, you've had some travels.
Yeah. And more to come. More to come.
More to come. Yeah.
More to come. What's next on the docket?
Knox Brewing Company over by Galesburg has an anniversary coming up, and they got a mug. So you got to get online, buy the mug. I'll go over there and pick that up, and I'll probably do Knox County, Iron Spike, Route for Gatonia down in Macomb, and then I'll head over towards Peoria and do the 2 or 3 in Peoria.
Okay.
So that'll be the next little trip, and then I got to do the Quad Cities. I haven't been out that way in a long time. Probably 8 months since I was out in the Quad Cities. And again, that'll pretty much have covered every place north of the Peoria area. I did Springfield this summer too. It was a pretty good summer.
Yeah, it sounds like.
I've never gone brewery hopping in the Quad Cities. What good is out there?
Wake Brewing Company makes some really good beers. Radical Effects. They make a garlic flavored beer, which is you cringe your nose at it at first, but it's a garlic stout, garlic porter. I can't remember which one. You cringe your nose at first at it, but it's really not that bad. I was like, no, oh, this is pretty good, really. Yeah. There's I don't know if Rebel Brew House is still brewing or not. I haven't seen anything from them in a while. Bent River is the big one. They have a production facility where they can beer out.
Oh, yeah.
They got the one in Moline and the one in Rock Island. There used to be the Blue Cat, and Dan got out of it, sold it to somebody. They renamed it Big Swing, and they're going back to the Blue Cat name. I don't know if they ever brewed as Swing, but I do know that they have a brewer, and he's firing up the system under the name Blue Cat. So they're coming back. And there is another one up the river, just a little ways on the Illinois side, and I cannot remember the name of it right now. For the life of me, I just can't.
Okay.
The last time I was out there, their beers were pretty good too, but I can't remember the name. I was only out there once though. And then Galena has a brew house in the Quad Cities. They don't brew there, but they bring the beer down from the Galena Brewing Company up in Galena, Illinois.
I had Galena Brewing Company because I used to do work out that way, and they're actually they have some pretty solid stuff from what I remember.
Yeah.
So
And then there's several on the other side of the river, but that's not Illinois.
That's them guys over there. Yeah.
That area doesn't matter.
Well, you were doing some travelings out in those areas of Illinois. I recently went back up into Pennsylvania, and I had what might be the most Pennsylvania beer to ever Pennsylvania.
Wow.
Yeah. So when you think of Pennsylvania breweries, a couple come to mind pretty quickly. Number one being Yuengling.
Mm-hmm.
Number two being Rolling Rock.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the kind of other than like craft breweries that are in the area. Like for me, Lancaster Brewing Company, Susquehanna Brewing Company, and things like that. But as far as like national brands that people are going to know, it's pretty much Yuengling and Rolling Rock. So we were up in Pennsylvania and picked up a 6-pack of Yuengling Porter, which is what they use in their black and tan, which is just awesome. I love their black and tan. And they infused it with Hershey's milk chocolate. And so it was a Yuengling Porter with Hershey's milk chocolate, which I dare say is probably the most Pennsylvania beer to ever Pennsylvania.
Well, you got two Pennsylvania staples combined into one product, so
icons, yes. And it was very well balanced. Not too much porter, not too much chocolate. It was very well balanced and quite good. And if I remember correctly, the ABV was not aggressively high either. So I don't know if I'd consider it necessarily sessionable, but it was not, you have one and you're knocked out or anything like that either. So it was a very good showing from Yuengling.
So when you explained that beer over text in recent days, my first thought was, okay, I would fully expect this to be a liquid candy bar. And then when you mentioned this being a really balanced beer, I thought to myself, would I just feel gypped, like drinking this beer and not feel like I'm eating chocolate? I don't know.
See, I don't know, but I appreciate balance because I know how hard it is in a beer. So there are sometimes like, what is that one from New York that we really like? The
Southern Tier.
Southern Tier. They're really good at kind of the over-the-top, flavors like cinnamon roll and things like that, where you feel like you're drinking a cinnamon roll. Right. This was not that, but at the same time, it was a good balance of you had chocolate notes, you had porter notes in there, and they mixed together very well.
They sent some of that to Indiana. I was watching people.
Okay.
I was watching people in some of the beer groups telling people where to go in Dyer, Indiana, and over towards LaPorte and down in that area on where to go buy it, what stores had it. And the people were just flooding and getting their hands on that stuff. It seems every year. I think it's the second year they made it.
It sounds about right. Yeah.
It flies off the shelves. So yeah. I've not had it. I'm very jealous that you have had it. I could have driven myself over to Indiana, I suppose, if I wanted to deal with that. But yeah, once again, I'm not sure I can cross the border without the shock collar going off.
Yeah, we picked it up at a gas station at a Sheetz on the way up to Pennsylvania. And,
so that paints a picture of how accessible it is in Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the gas
it's
station.
At your neighborhood gas station. Right, exactly. Wow. What's okay? One of us can look this up. I would be interested in seeing its Untapped rating. Is it real high?
Let me look that up. So,
go
ahead, Polly.
I was gonna say sorry. I had to take care of something. What am I missing? We talking about the Yingling chocolate beer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure. I figured I knew what we were talking about.
So it has a rating of a little lower than I would expected, 3.87 out of 5.
Ah.
The Yingling Chocolate Porter. Yeah. Yeah,
You think the people
malty,
who are handing out that lower rating are maybe wanting more of the chocolate and less of the
maybe.
balance.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hershey's chocolate. Yingling Porter with Hershey's chocolate. They're expecting the chocolate bar situation, and they might be dinging it on that without realizing that it's still a great beer.
Yeah, no, I think that's probably the case. Yeah, so and they even kind of in the balance of it, they even have. I just was trying to move the thing up here like that would make you see it, but that's not the case. Even the label is like the top half is Yingling and the bottom half is Hershey's. So even the label's kind of balanced in all of that. So it's I kind of like that. They did a good job with it. But
John, the people that you referred to places like Dyer, Indiana to pick it up, were the reviews positive or not a whole lot to say about it?
I didn't. Uh, it's either you love it or you hate it sort of thing is what it seems to be.
Okay. Okay.
It seems to be either I love it or I hate it. I think everybody chases after it for I hate to say it, the novelty aspect of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
yeah,
I'm not sure how many people go back a second or a third time and buy another 6-pack or go back the second year and people I got it this year, but I think a lot of people who were going after it this year couldn't get it last year because it wasn't a lot tighter supply last year than I think it was this year.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people were just after just because of what it was. Okay, I
Yeah.
tried it. I'm
Mhm.
good, sort of thing.
yeah, yeah.
Right.
I mean, I would definitely pick it up again. I think it would because I'm a pretty big fan of porters, and I think porters lend themselves to adjuncts pretty well, like chocolate or smoke or what have you. And like I said, I think the balance on this was really impressive. Which as a home brewer, I know how difficult that is,
Hmm.
and that's I would definitely pick it up again.
That might be another part of the problem is porter. Yeah, stout, yes, but you probably could only find 2 out of 50 people who would actually tell you what the difference between a stout and a porter is that aren't
And
really
that's
beer people. And so, yeah, there might be that issue involved with that too.
true enough. And I'm looking at one where they kind of dinged it a little bit. It's only like a 3.25, and mild tasting porter with definite chocolate notes. Overall, a bit thin but drinkable.
That's
I
a
think
porter.
that's a porter exactly. I think they were expecting like a milk stout when they got a porter, and that's just going to be what you get. So yeah, it's an interesting. You're right. The porter is not as well known as some of the other ones, but I will say I got a shout out, and I keep forgetting that they're a thing until I go back to Pennsylvania and I'm reintroduced to them. Susquehanna Brewing Company, or as it's more commonly known up there, SBC. Um, they are phenomenal. If anybody is in that area and is able to get Susquehanna Brewing Company, highly recommend it. Anything that they make is really top notch.
What city in Pennsylvania?
So Susquehanna River goes down through Harrisburg. Let's see where they are. Contact is they're up in Wilkes-Barre. So that's just south of Scranton.
Ah,
So kind of
okay.
Central northeast corner of Pennsylvania. And they just make some phenomenal beers. The one I had up there, and this was towards the end of its season, but it was still really solid, was a grapefruit shandy called Sunny Spot. And it was just so light and bright and had a lot of those grapefruit notes and was just a really solid ale with, a lot of those notes and just absolutely wonderful. But I have never had a bad beer from Susquehanna, and would highly recommend it if anybody's in that area.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's quite an endorsement.
Yeah. They're one of those breweries that I definitely will endorse for anybody, and that's a short list in my mind, but that's definitely one of them.
Now, is this a brewery that you can find cans of at retail stores nearby, or is this just show up in the tap room and what's there is
they
there?
have distribution. You can find them in the region, but they are a regional brewery. I do not believe they have distribution widely outside of Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So, Paulie,
Yes, sir.
can we ask about your brew day?
Are you done being
That was
salty?
fine. No. Hey, I'll tell you what, it's a hell of a lot better than last week. So I only had one problem, not multiple problems.
Yeah.
It was just I think I adjusted my mill too close and had a stuck sparge and had to deal with that. It was today I brewed a wee heavy, which was a couple years ago, like when they did the homebrew competition. The guy that won, it was his recipe. So we did it again this fall. So I mean, it was fine. It was fine.
You hit mute. Come back.
Yeah.
Sorry, efficiency was a little low, but I'm okay with it. We got beer in the tank, so that's all I care about. Now I'm sitting here finally enjoying a nice hazy here that we released today, called
Right
the
there
Inner
with you.
Pigman. Yeah. And then
What was the ABV you landed today, or what's the original gravity?
I think it was 57. The estimated was supposed to be 70. It was low, but whatever.
Okay. Well, the last time you guys had that beer on tap, that's around where it was.
What the
Scotch ale you guys had?
Oh no, that's a different one. It's not the one that we had. It's not the one that we had when I first started.
Okay.
No, that's a different one.
Okay. Did you guys have a Scotch ale on tap for forever?
Huh?
Did you guys have
we did.
This okay, but this is not the same one that you brewed today?
Yeah. No, it's not,
It was.
It's not the one that was on when I first started. No, not at
Oh,
all.
okay.
It's not.
All right.
This is I tried looking for that recipe because everybody wanted it, but it's not in the records. So, I mean, I can't brew it again. Sorry.
Okay.
But yeah,
So-
I mean, besides that, it was fine. Huh?
Okay. John.
Yeah.
Scotch ale. How's that rank on your styles of beers? Is that a good beer for John or not so much?
It depends on the strength. I'm not a big fan of peat. There's a lot of those Scotch ales. They tend to get very peaty sometimes. A 60 and a 90 are okay. 120 shilling, no, I pass on that one. It tends to just be a little too smoky, peaty when you get up into that alcohol range with that much peat involved in it. But it's okay. It's not. I mean, if I go in someplace and they've got it, I'll get it. I'll usually ask, and it usually drive people crazy. I go, "Oh, is this a 60 or a 90 or a 120 shilling?" And you get a bartender who's like, "What?" They don't understand the concept, and I appreciate that. So then I have to ask. Let me just smell it first. I can figure it out from that.
Oh yeah, that's funny.
Okay.
So it was actually kind of cool because a couple homebrewers that came by, they brought in some Bourbon County, and one of the guys got a 2019 prop that I'm about to sample right now. I've never had a prop ever in my life. So
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's different every year.
I know. And we'll see.
So, correct me if I'm
that's
John,
good.
you would know
That's
this.
real chocolatey.
Prop has a different adjunct every year. Is it not?
Yep. Yeah. Every year
Okay.
they change it.
Okay. So what's the adjunct for that one, Paulie?
I don't know. I don't have the bottle in front of me.
No?
Yeah.
You can't. Okay. Okay. There's not a prominent flavor that's like right in the forefront.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's chocolatey.
Okay.
What year
Definitely
is that?
chocolatey. Huh? 2019. Here, hold on.
19?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was a Mexican chocolate one.
Okay, I get that. And then he also he brought in a 2020 wheat wine. So
Yeah, I think that was a Mexican chocolate year.
I can get
Okay.
that. It's kind of like a spicy chocolate. I could get that flavor out of it.
I could be wrong, but somebody can Google that and find out.
Sure.
But
What do you-
I don't know. Sorry.
What do you think, George?
Oh yeah, George, where'd you go?
Frozen screen. I'm just making jokes. It's all
I
good.
know. Hey,
He's fine.
I could go do like I did a couple weeks ago, put the cutout of Polly up and just disappear again.
Yes. I'm surprised you don't have that behind you right now.
No, I put it out of the brew house. My ass keeps getting in my own goddamn way. So
In the form of a cutout.
yeah. So now he's shunned back to the room. To the
Storage room?
Yeah, he's back in the storage room now. Yeah. And when I'm not here, what I'll do is I'll put him up at my desk, and so I can only imagine people sitting here trying to carry on conversations and everything.
So, somebody's going to the storage room one day and have a heart attack, not knowing what's there.
My desk, and so, yeah, right. I can only imagine. That's hysterical. I mean, when they brought that out for the Oktoberfest, that was fucking funny. I mean, the pictures that started going up on Facebook, you got people picking my nose, girls wanting to start fights with me, and I was like, man, look at me, I'm just acting all. And the funny thing is, you look at the picture, and you think I'm wasted, but no, I was fucking miserable. That was it was a day that the Prison Beer Festival or Prison Music Festival going on. It was like 100 degrees. There's no shade in that prison yard. I mean, thank God for my umbrella. At least I had that kind of shade.
Mm-hmm.
And the picture was taken at like 3:00 in the afternoon in like the heat of the summer. I was like, you know what? I just want to go home and die right now. That's all I want to do. So, well, the saving grace from that weekend was they went over at the ticket booth to get beer tickets. They never gave a power cord for their POS system, so they were cash only at the time. So I had to go to hit an ATM, and my ride took the wrong. At first, I was angry they took the wrong way, but then I was happy because I was able to go sit in air conditioning at Nick and Ivy and have a couple cold beers in air conditioning, and then go back and dredge the day again. So I had that going for me at least. Yeah, we had a bunch of stuff happen this week. It's kind of cool. I got some labels I'd love to share with you guys, but I can't really because in case there's a certain person watching, it's got him on the label. And he knows about it, but he just can't see it until packaging day. It's called remember that Saison that I did, Jason, the sax solo?
Yeah.
Sexy sax solo. It's coming out.
Ah, okay. All right. I got the picture.
And, everything is kind of cool because the artwork. And don't worry, John, I'll have an extra label for you. I'll add it to the pile that I have in here right now. As I go with this. Oh, I had our local artist that did all the murals and everything for us in the brewery. He designed the label for us. And then the print guy right next door is printing them up for us. And we're going to do a super limited bottle release. We're only going to release, I think, 70 cases or 70 bottles, that period. So get them while you can.
70 bottles total. Wow.
72.
So,
wow.
Can we talk about something real quick? And I don't mean to violently change the subject, but as I told these guys, I put my video and my audio on pause because I wanted to go take a sample of my beer to be able to tell you guys what my final gravity was, because my Wee Heavy is done. It's ready to go in the keg. Whatever gravity it is, it's done. And unfortunately, with the way it was fermenting and how it kind of clogged up my my Play-Doh because I overfilled my fermenter a little bit. I don't think I have an accurate reading on my Play-Doh because this one just took off and went friggin' nuts. Even with firm cap, I had a head, my Kreuzen, a high Kreuzen of like this high. It just went nuts. Omega yeast might be the most aggressive yeast on the market.
Which one was it, Chase or George?
The Omega yeast Scottish Ale, because it's a wee heavy.
015?
I want to say it was 030.
Oh, because the wee heavy that we just did, I believe it was 015.
Was it? Okay, it might have been that, but I'm pulling it up in Beersmith right now. But anyway, it just went nuts. And so Plato says it's at a 0.05, but that's not right. It's much lower than that.
Scottish Ale is 015, George.
Okay, so then it might be, the 015. But anyway, so I put my thief in and pulled it out, and my thief is broken. It just started spurting out the sides of the thief. I have no idea why.
What?
I didn't drop it. Thief is just broken. So I think there's something that just says to me, you just need to work with a refractometer. It's been the most reliable instrument I have. I know how to do the calculations for post-fermentation to make sure that that I'm reading the right level within a reasonable, margin error margin. And I think I just need to do that because, like, I get a thief, I get a hydrometer and things like that, and these things, they just break. I don't know what it is.
I think it's funny because I am like in all the years of homebrewing that I did, I have never broken a hydrometer until I worked here. And now I've broken 3 in a year.
Okay. Yeah, see, exactly. So
it still seems impossible to me that a home brewer could live that long and not break a hydrometer for that.
I know.
long.
Every time I'm done using it, you put it back in the safety container.
Wow.
Oh, well, okay, that's a little simplifying. But yes,
it's a little simplified, but at the same time, we definitely have broken one by, even after we took it out of the safety container, things happen. And we always brewed on a concrete surface, like be my driveway, my garage, or what have you. And, hydrometers drop.
Yeah, the glass is super thin on those.
Yeah.
It does not take a lot to break them at all.
I think I've broken more thermometers than I have.
Thermometers are the worst.
All right, I'll buy that.
I think I've broken more thermometers than I've broken anything as a home brewer. Like, I don't know. I mean, I still, to this day, at my house, I still have my original hydrometer. Yeah. And that thing is not leaving my house because if it comes here, the fucker's going to get broke. I know that. So it's staying here.
So the moral of the story is I'm pretty sure I'm, low 1030s, 1029, where I should be for final gravity. Numbers on this were pretty damn well perfect. But I didn't get a chance to tell you guys the perils of fermentation when I started this. Jason, I have an idea for you.
Okay.
So I started this out and I poured it in and I ended up having about 6 gallons of beer, which is a little too much for the catalyst. The fermenter, it doesn't give enough headspace. You need about 5.5 gallons. I didn't think about that. I put in my firm cap. I started fermentation. Everything was going fairly well. And it started bubbling. And the Kreuzen started to come up, started to clog it up. And I would get, periods of 30 seconds to a minute where you wouldn't see anything. And all of a sudden, I get 200 bubbles. And then 30 seconds to a minute of nothing, 200 bubbles, that kind of thing.
Something's clogging the airlock or something?
Exactly. It was the Croisen foam was clogging the airlock, and then the pressure would get up enough to where it would just push through. And
Okay. All right.
And for a while, it would be able to push that CO2 out, and then it would clog up again. So I did a few dumps out of the mason jar to remove some of that and create some more headspace. Remove some of the liquid, create some more headspace in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I did probably 2 or 3, and then the last one I did, I screwed the mason jar on, and dumped it in, and then closed it up, but forgot to open it back up. So you have this fresh you have this fresh wort with yeast suspended in it, sitting in this mason jar, closed up. And I'm sitting here working because it's right next to me at my work desk. And yes, so the mason jar twists off and shoots off the bottom and creates this loud bang noise against the floor. And I had a ceramic dish underneath it to catch any drippings or anything, and it shattered that, and it just shot the mason jar off. So here's my idea for you, Jason.
Violent chemical reaction.
Take some wort, take some yeast, put it in that mason jar, close it up. My experience is it'll shoot off the bottom. It's happened to me twice now.
It's not the worst idea. It's really not.
I'm just sitting here thinking, going, what the hell are you thinking, George?
What I was thinking was I was doing it in a hurry in the morning, and because the last thing I wanted was for my airlock to shoot off and dump wort all over my guest room. So I was doing those dumps quickly, and I just forgot to open it back up. And so I was sitting here talking with my boss and all things, and all of a sudden this loud boom happens, and he's like, "What was that?" So yeah.
You saved your beer because was the lever closed? Okay, got it.
Yeah, so the lever was closed because you can close that off to get
Right.
kind of convert it to a secondary.
Yeah.
And but so the mason jar still had wort and yeast in it, so it continued to happily ferment.
Right.
And just built pressure.
So is the threading in the catalyst just completely fried?
No. It literally spun it off and then shut it down.
Oh, it coiled around?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. No, I was able to put it up, twist it back on, and once I got everything sorted out and sanitized it, and it was fine.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. I wish you would have been videotaping that in slow motion.
I know, right? But you never expect these things to happen. So
Right.
That on top of the clogging and stuff makes me feel like my Fort Play-Doh doesn't have nearly an accurate reading on how much what my final gravity is. So
yeah, no, I guess there's nothing but questions about what the true gravity at this point is.
Yeah, so when I'm transferring it over to my kegs, I'll run some over my refractometer and test it out that way.
We should do an episode of the podcast in the not so distant future that talks about that calculation.
Oh yeah, okay.
Like to get a final gravity on the refractometer. Mm-hmm. I freely admit I don't know what it is.
Oh, I have.
And I'm a numbers guy. Either, I really don't.
Beersmith does, and I plug it in there.
All right then. Okay.
John, did you have a question? I thought I heard you say something.
I was just how long after you put the jar in there before it actually worked itself off and crashed?
That is a good question. That was about 8 hours later.
Wow.
No, probably 6 hours later.
After pitching the yeast?
That's even more of a wow.
Yeah,
6 hours after
yeah, because I'm telling you, this yeast was so aggressive. I didn't do a starter. I didn't do anything. I just pitched it because it's an omega yeast. I let it warm up. I pitched it in, and within hours, it was just off to the races.
Are those packets 200 billion cells?
2 or 3 or something ridiculous.
Okay,
yeah.
but it's more than the standard 100.
It's more than a standard.
Okay,
100, yeah.
all right. Well, that explains it. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So you made 5 to 6 gallons of 1086 beer.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. How big was your grain bill?
18.5 pounds.
That seems low for a beer that big.
Well, I did a 90-minute boil.
Ah, okay. All right. That partially explains it.
Yeah, I did a 90-minute boil, which concentrated it a decent amount. And I did, so this is the first time in a long time where I actually did a mash out, before I did my sparge.
Okay.
So I did a single infusion at 156. And then in the last 10 minutes, I did a mash out to bring it up to 68, I think. And then I did my sparge through, did a nice slow sparge, and then did my boil, and everything just went by the numbers.
What inspired the mash out?
We had talked about that before, and every time I set a mash profile in Beersmith, it recommends it. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, that's probably a good idea. So that's what I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to talk about this further when Paulie comes back, because I've gone back and forth on the mash out step myself for quite a long time. So brewing with Paulie has taught me certain things, and I think this is a good thing to talk about.
I did push the limits of my fermenter in this one. Like I have a 10-gallon fermenter. I was using all 10 gallons of it when I did my mash out.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
I mean, you're relying on a water infusion to take you to 168 degrees.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I was using all 10 gallons of it, and then started my sparge, and then started my sparge water, and
was the water boiling that you had to infuse?
No, it was 100 and, well, I don't know what I'm trying to remember. I have it right here. 202. So it was shy of boiling, but it wasn't cold by any stretch of the mind. So, but my target was 1089, and I hit 1086. I felt pretty good about that.
As you should.
And I'm hoping that when I measure my final gravity, that I'm going to get down to the 1029 that's expected.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, once I was able to create enough headspace for the Play-Doh to be able to operate correctly, I hit like 650 bubbles per minute at certain points. Like it was just going nuts.
What's the name again of that digital airlock you have?
Play-Doh.
Play-Doh. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that with all that data that Play-Doh gives you, it can't give you your final gravity?
Well, it can, but the poor thing got clogged up, and I had to take it off and do dumps and stuff like that. Like it's able to do it so long as you have a consistent fermentation through it, and it's able to read all the bubbles through it. The other thing you can do as you're going, you can take specific gravity readings and plug that into the application to help it like determine where it actually is and train it a little bit.
Okay, all right.
Unfortunately, I wasn't able to do that this time because half the fermentation was done while I was not in the house. So, yeah. So I don't blame the poor device too much on that.
I do.
You do.
I
That's
do.
fine. I will, yeah.
It sounds like operator error to me.
It would definitely.
It sounds like a piece of expensive equipment that doesn't really work all that well. Stick with the hydrometer. Keep it simple, stupid. Come on now.
I mean, you can keep it simple, and I'm all for that. But at the same time, every once in a while, a fancy piece of digital equipment is nice to have.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Paulie, while you were away, George and I were talking about mash out, the mash out step. All right.
Yes.
So George did a mash out for this past brew day that he had with his Scotch ale.
Okay.
My question is, okay, is the proper handling of a mash out? Do your mash, heat up water, infuse water to take the entire vessel up to 168 degrees, and then slowly drain it off until you get the reserve of the grain bed before you start sparging?
I would say so.
Okay, all right.
I would say so. Yeah. I mean, the
George-
way I
Pretty
do
much
it.
what I did.
That's
the
what
way
you
I-
did, George?
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the way I do it is I just, I mean, the last 15 minutes of my mash in the Herms coil, I just raise it up to mash out temperature, 168 degrees, for like 15 minutes. I mean, do I ever really check all that? No, because I'm usually doing 8 million other things at the same time.
Okay.
And I've been good. I've been doing good so far. But yeah, mashing out, I will agree. Like at first, I never did. I thought it was kind of a silly practice. But after I've done it, I become a fan of it because it makes for a better product in the long run.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
what I hear as well.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
It's a lot. From what I can
Okay,
tell,
guys.
just by looking at it right now, it's a lot. It seems like it's a lot cleaner, and I think that I think it'll make for a good product.
All right, guys, I hate to do this, but how in the hell can I get a full screen here? Because like I got you guys in like 4x4 in the corner, and I got to scroll up and down to see each one of you guys talk. I got Jason next to me, and below me I got George and John.
I would have to be standing over your laptop to
I don't
know what you're
you're
seeing,
doing wrong,
Paulie.
buddy. So sorry about the detour, John. Just had to talk about our home brewing stuff. So
This show's about everything. That's part of the show.
it is
All
for
things
sure.
beer and beer making.
Did I have
Have you ever thought about trying your hand at home brewing?
Oh, I don't have the time for that.
Okay.
I don't. I mean, I would dive into it so deep head first that I'd be like, well, there goes 8 hours. I'm like, I can go visit 5 breweries and get 7 glasses. And nope, I'm perfectly fine. You all make the beer,
Yep.
I'll just show up and drink it.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Deal? I can deal with that, John.
Yes. Wise decision.
Besides, I don't know where I would do
We
it
all
this
we
house
all we
anymore.
all could give you a tour of our garages. You could see all the tools and stuff that we've accumulated throughout our 10 years as brewers. And you'll s-
For sure.
You
I'm
have
actually-
collected a different kind.
Yep.
I'm actually
Let-
really excited here because I'm starting to. I don't know if you saw last week, George. We're starting a homebrew class here at the brewery.
Nice.
Probably at the first of the year. Kind of like what Saugatuck's been doing. I don't know if you saw that,
Mm-hmm.
but Saugatuck does the same thing. So we're gonna do it. I'm excited because then I get to actually homebrew, do cute little 5-gallon batches again. Only 13 pounds of grain, a few ounces of hops, 11 grams, not 500 grams of yeast.
Right.
Are you gonna get one of those brewery setups on wheels?
No, I'm just gonna. I'm bringing the rig from home, man. It's gonna be set up and
All
tear
right.
down.
Okay.
The only thing that we're doing, the only thing that we're adding on to it, just because our hood really can't handle propane and all that. I just ordered from Blickman a 10-gallon electric kettle,
Okay.
so I got that going. I'm excited about that. I really am. So, come first of the year, you heard it here first. Anybody
Yeah.
that's ever brewed, come on down. I'll teach you. Lord have mercy on your soul.
John, have you been part of a brew day anywhere before?
Yes.
You have. Okay.
About 4 times now, 4 or 5 times.
Okay.
And
Okay. Right on.
I went down to Bloomington last Saturday, and Chad wants me to come down for a brew day and make a bitter beer. We call it the Bitter Man down there at Little Beaver.
Nice.
I like it.
Nice.
How appropriate.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're setting that
Let
up
me ask
for
you this.
the week after Thanksgiving.
Oh, right on. Okay.
Okay.
All
So
right.
where's that going to be at? You said Triptych? John,
We're there.
where's that going to be at?
Little Beaver.
Brewery?
Little
Little
Beaver.
Beaver.
Right?
Little Beaver down in
Oh.
Yeah, yeah,
What date is
yeah.
that? What's the date on it?
I
Do
got
you
to get a
know?
hold of Chad and check the date, but we're looking at the week after Thanksgiving.
All right. When you do it, let me know. I would love to make it a point to come down there, and I'm going to heckle you from it. I hope I can see the brewery like mine. I'll sit there in the bar and just heckle you.
Mhm.
and Chad's gonna be like, "Who is this guy?"
You know what? Yeah,
Well-
if you come and do that, I'm going to heckle you on your home brewing days when you start the home brewing thing down there at your brewery.
Oh God, please do, because I will
I'll-
snap right back.
I'll-
I have no
Paulie,
problem. Well,
I'll join you. We can sit back, drink beers with our pinkies up like this, and be like,
this little Beaver, I don't know about this place. I mean, they're down here in Bloomington. What the hell's going on down here?
right.
But yeah, we've got some really exciting things coming on. I know John's gonna hate me for it because now because his pilot's gonna keep getting bigger here. We've started distributing now, and we're getting some more different labels out there. So yes, John, there's gonna be more cans. I know you were bitching about.
You mean
all
other than just the Route 66 ones, you got more labels coming?
Yeah, we got some coming right now. I got. I like I said, I can't show it on the show because I don't know if somebody's watching, but the barrel aged, Cabernet Barrel Aged Saison label is in, and I got the first running of it. I like it a lot, but our printer's gonna do some more work to it. You have to come see it in person because you're gonna love this thing. Our local artist.
All right, I will. I'm down. I'll come maybe now. Okay, I think I'm off Wednesday next week.
All right. I mean, even if I'm not open, John, just hit me up. You know you're welcome. I'll let you in.
I know. Yeah. I got to take the car in the morning, but after that, I don't think I have anything next Wednesday. So.
Okay, yeah, because I could show you this label. I'll show you the first run of it, and like our 16-ounce cans, they're just the same as the Crowler ones. We're writing the names on the side for now, but now that we're starting to do this distro more, we're starting to get real labels for all the other beers. Like the Mango is going to have its own label. Eventually, Polly's Truck will have its own label, which I'm really excited to see that one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really excited. What?
What kind of can then? What kind of canning you doing? I mean, you're not bringing in mobile canning, are you?
Me, single hand, one by one.
Oh my God!
Paulie canning.
Poly canning line.
It's a poly canning line.
Yeah. Lord have mercy on your soul again.
Oh man!
But it's fun because now we're finally like, as you know, John, this whole year I was doing nothing but playing catch up. I always had empty lines and we're doing a bunch of one-offs. And now I'm at the point now where we're full of beer and like I'm looking like I can look on the board and I know what needs to go before the next beer comes out.
Yeah.
So I've got that down. And I'm even at the point now where I really don't have to even talk to the owners about what needs to be brewed. Because I know what's going on. I know we go with the changing of the seasons. So like right now we got I wish we did a label for that. We got that 9/11 beer, that 4.3 the 3.43 porter, which is really tasty. You'd probably like that one, John. And then we got the Redfoot Leadfoot. That's an old homebrew recipe from way back in the day, even pre-JBG days.
Oh.
That me and my original homebrew partner did together. And he came in, helped me brew it. We even worked on the recipe together.
So, Polly, how did Save the Clock Tower do?
It's going good. We got 2 kegs left.
Okay.
One, we got one of the last fill, so I think it's like half full. And the other ones, we probably have like 1 half barrel.
Okay.
So it's doing good.
Yeah.
We'll reset that out for distro too. So I'll make sure. Actually, I think I have some. I'll make sure I keep the can aside, 16 ounces, so I can send you a snow globe.
Okay. Sounds good.
And now
Has there been
huh?
has there been a beer that you made that you thought would go over really well down there that didn't?
had a few that, no, not real. Well, one I thought I did, but it's fine. It was just a wheat ale, and it got along the lines of summer beers. But mostly everything I've done, I just really like. We go out and like, let's see how it goes. I mean, I got the one beer that's been our biggest. It's kind of funny because it's like been my biggest hit as a brewer here, and now we're at the point where I can't brew it enough. I'm half tempted to reach out to another brewery and start contracting for me because, I mean, I'm literally brewing it like every 3 weeks. If I don't do 5 barrels of it, I'm literally doing it 2 weeks after I package it and send it out.
So you're at that level. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to talk about, that milkshake stout that you made. That
milkshake stout. Go fuck yourself, George.
My brain went there too, George. You're not alone.
Okay, good. I'm glad I'm not alone.
No, I knew as soon as that thing went on. I'm like, I don't know. I just know the customers down here, and I know they don't enjoy this.
Right.
Yeah.
I got this friend I've been talking to, and she was like, she's a hairstylist. And all of a sudden, we were talking one day, and she's like, "Oh, you ever dealt with crazy customers?" I'm like, "Oh yeah." And then she was telling me her stories about it, and then she's like, "How about some of your stories?" I'm like, "What trade? Mechanics, plumbing, or brewing?" So I told her a couple of the either ones, and then we went into brewing. I just kind of let go, like all these, people that they go up to these, phase 3s and liquid loves and heavily adjunct beers. And I'm like, hey, Paul, you ever thought about doing a cinnamon, brown sugar, blah, blah, blah? And I'm like, no, because it actually sounds kind of disgusting. And one of my bartenders right now, she's like, can you do a graham beer? I'm like, no, I won't. I don't want to be sitting
graham
on this
beer?
Like a graham, like fucking.
Like a graham cracker?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like, I don't want to do this and have this sitting here on my tab lines for 8 fucking
Can you make
minutes.
one that tastes like a root beer float?
I could try. I mean, you always got that.
Yeah, can you make one that tastes like a root beer float?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm
So
just
guys-
happy with what?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm just happy that this honey mango's taken off. Although, it's funny because I sent a couple beers out to some meat competitions because I don't know if I told you, George. I got my score sheets back from GABF on the mango, and oh god, it got ripped apart.
No.
I mean, for the style that I put it in, and I understand, they were saying it was too sweet and this and that, and it was kind of funny because there was typical like when you're looking at it as a home brewer, all of a sudden they're like, oh, don't use this. I'm like, I didn't fucking use that, you jackass. That's why I love it being anonymous, because every now and then when you read the judge, it could be your friend and he doesn't even know he's judging your beer.
Yeah.
That whole thing with Marty Nachel I was talking about the very first time. He judged my very first competition. He didn't even know he was judging my beer. He didn't even know who I was at the time. I was just some kid that came into a store, ordered some ingredients with a Mr. Beer kit. I don't know. I think I threw that one away 15 years ago. Thank God. And then I bought his book, and here we are from there.
Yeah.
Here it is 20 years later, and I've actually got my dream job. I still can't get over it. To this day, it still boggles my mind that, my owners, why would you want to hire me? I don't fucking get it.
Yeah, I understand that feeling. So.
But besides that, yeah, I mean, I really never had something I thought really went well, thought would go well, George, or Dick, John, yeah. George, Jason, John, one of the 3 of you guys. No, I haven't had one of those yet.
Oh my gosh.
That I thought would go good and didn't. Oh, sorry.
Somebody's here and waiting.
Is that Scott?
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's Scott. Hi, Scott.
Wow!
Welcome, Mr. Buffalo. How are you?
From WNY Brews. Welcome,
Good.
Scott.
We had Cub Scouts. How's it going?
Cub Scouts. Okay, all right.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, not for me, for my son.
Yeah, well, yeah, I figured.
I mean, you're still a Cub Scout, Scott? Really?
Yeah.
I think you're a little old to be a Cub Scout there, buddy. Maybe a week old.
Hey, are you assuming my age?
We would never. We would never.
No, never, Scott. Yeah, never.
Scott, you remember John Bitterman, the Illinois beer historian?
I'm assuming over 21.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So, Scott,
What are you enjoying tonight, sir?
Oh, Otter Creek.
Otter Creek. Okay.
Yeah, it's out of Vermont. Otter Creek Daily Dose IPA.
All right.
You used to be able to get that in the Chicago area. I always thought they were pretty solid beers.
Yeah.
Then again, that
Are
was
they not
19.
available anymore?
No, not around here. I don't think they're in the Chicago area. They used to be. Oh, yeah, you used to be able to get them in the Chicago area. What was it? Stovepipe Porter?
That sounds right.
I remember that.
Yeah. I remember that one. I distinctly remember. I thought that was a good beer. I honestly, it was stovepipe or stovetop or something like that porter from them.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I bet I could find an empty bottle in about 2 minutes.
I bet you
Sure you
could.
could.
Stovetop. Wow. Okay. That name rings a bell, too. I'm trying to think where I know that from.
Stovetop, something. Yeah.
Yeah,
Somebody can Google that.
Yeah.
I will.
So
Write
I
that
was
down.
actually just
You need somebody
about
off-
to change topics a little bit to, this is our 100th episode. Thank you, Scott, for joining us.
Yes.
Cheers on 100, guys.
Yeah, thank you. We've
Thank
had
you.
a lot of guests and a lot of different topics. And I think it'd be fun to talk about some of the highlights that we've had here. I can think of a couple off the top of my head.
Oh, so can I.
Yeah. Number one of the one of the most comical and at the time awkward moments of my media career, if you will, is Jason and I looking at each other sideways through the camera as Polly is rolling something on camera. Tobacco. And seeing what's going on there.
So that may or may not have been Scott's first appearance on the show also.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Sorry,
That might
Scott.
which added to the experience, because the funniest thing about that, I've said this over and over again, and I'm not getting tired of saying it, is the fact that Polly was rolling cigarettes was completely unaddressed.
Oh,
Completely.
If any eagle-eyed person that is watching the show will see Jason and I kind of looking at each other through the camera going, is this really happening?
Yeah.
So,
It is an all-time classic. We talk about it all the time.
it is for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we've had some good times on here.
We have.
Yeah.
Well, here's another one too. Is our Christmas episode,
The trivia episode?
our trivia episode. It was not our only trivia episode, and I don't recall even if it was our first one.
I think
But it was
our
definitely the one we had the most fun on,
Yeah.
because that night was a blast.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, it was a
That was actually a lot of fun. I think we should do that again for Christmas because we had some fun.
yeah.
I'll just have to find a different database for questions.
Yeah. No,
I
I'd
think
be
we
more
should
than
get
up
John
for it.
back on for this.
No,
again.
yeah, John, consider yourself invited. We'd love to have you a part of that.
We wouldn't be able to
All
answer
right.
any of his questions. He'd come out with some obscure historical things. That,
I do think whatever game we would put together, I think John would win by a landslide.
Probably.
I get that impression.
I was going to ask, do I get to play the game or do I just get to help ask the questions? If I
No,
get to
you
play
get
the
to play.
game, then yeah,
It's both.
You get to play.
Yeah.
Actually, I do remember the one Christmas episode where I asked that one question and everyone was like, "Oh, thanks, Bitterman." It was Oh, John, it was when was the first beer can released? And I don't remember the answer off the top of my head. I think the funniest part was if you had it wrong, you had to drink a shitty beer. And poor Scott over there in New York was drinking a Lord.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, Scott,
You were a champ with that.
Yeah,
I still have it.
You what?
All of it.
But somebody send you more?
No.
I sent them a
whenever I
full
have someone
750.
new- Whenever I have someone new at the house that's never tried it, I make sure they try it. So out of the 750 milliliters, it's probably 550 milliliters left.
So at that rate, there'll still be some left by next Christmas too.
Oh yeah. Yep. Yep.
What's the best reaction you've had to Malort?
It's all exactly the same reaction. Every
Okay,
single
yeah.
person.
Yeah.
It starts with a grimace like, ugh, and then a huh, no, and then the worst hits, and then
Yeah,
You're right.
you want to say that the after effect is the worst part, but it's just bad the whole way through.
yeah.
You know
You
what?
get a
I've
little
come
bit
to
of a
like
middle where
Malort
you're like,
now.
oh, maybe this has some redeemable qualities to it, and then the back end
No.
hits you. And like,
Yeah.
no, it doesn't.
Did I tell you guys at the time when did I tell you at the time when we gave it to you? Shortly before that, we went to a John Oliver stand-up show, and he was performing in Chicago, and he came out and was like saying, hi to the crowd and everything, and then he looks at the crowd and goes, all right, people, what the hell is Malort? Because I have like 3 bottles back here in my green room, and I have no idea what it is. And, of course the crowd reacted because they knew exactly what he was in for. So, yeah.
I'm dumbfounded there are people who actually like that stuff. Or at least say they do.
They say they do. I'm not sure that... Do you still have some, Scott?
Yes, I have like all of it. Sorry, my kids are loud, so I'm
it's
muting.
okay.
I have like all of it, like
Okay.
three quarters of it left.
Okay. Yeah, that's smart. Yeah.
Smart. Actually, it's kind of dumb because it's all not left. Some of it's disappeared.
That's right.
Well, no, Scott, did you ever do like you were saying last summer where you're going to like take videos of all the send it around to people in Buffalo to get their first reactions?
I didn't know. I haven't sent it around or anything. I mean,
or just like if people come by.
Yeah, just if people come by. So it's been basically family. Okay. So, maybe Thanksgiving, we might have people around again. We're starting to have people around again. We went to a birthday party a couple of weeks ago, and I walked in, and it was like 30 people inside a house. Right, and I walk in like, ooh, whoa, this is weird. We haven't done this in 2 years. Yeah. And I know for a fact, like everyone in the house is vaccinated, right? Like it's all adults and everybody has been vaccinated, but you walk in like, haha, okay, this feels weird. I'm not comfortable right now. I haven't been around people. I don't like being around people.
Oh, wow.
Which is not true. I like being around people.
Oh, I love being around people.
Yeah.
And it's been kind of cool that slowly but surely things are getting back to normal.
Yeah.
Like being able to go to some of the big concerts this year. The one thing that got me excited was
I'm taking you with me.
Okay.
The announcement yesterday on social media. Oh, Scott, you need to listen to this. Hold on. July. Let me get the date really quick. Frankfurt Bluegrass Festival set their date already for next year. So, if your sister's still in that bluegrass band,
oh yeah.
Is it? Hold on, I'll give you July 9th and 10th, 22. So set the date, get the motor home, bring the chillins out and everything. It'll be fun. Got the kids tent.
And
see the Bills logo on that?
Some more.
Yeah, the Bills logo, yes. Sorry, John, what'd you say?
I said if he runs out of Malort between now and then, he can pick up some more when he comes out for the Bluegrass Festival.
Oh, yeah, we can get you a bunch of it here in Chicago. I mean, come on now.
There's shelves of it for some reason.
You know, actually, one of the bars...
You ever want to make sure your kid doesn't drink? That's what you want to give them.
Just leave that out on the counter. There you go.
There. I'm going to pour one for the 100th episode here.
Oh
yeah.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
There. Doing it in my Bills shot glass.
What did it take for you guys to convince him to bust that out?
Oh, it takes
Just talking about it.
Really?
Nothing much.
He is a glutton for punishment.
Wow.
You're like Bills.
Uh-oh. We lost. We're losing. You're breaking up a little bit.
It's a Malort.
Having some technical difficulties on my end too.
Yeah,
I can hear it
going on?
myself.
There we go. All right, I think you're back now.
All right. Am I the only one doing this?
Yeah, because you're
You're
the only one that has it.
I don't have any.
I do one with you if I had there, Scott.
Okay.
Cheers, man.
Cheers.
Right, you sent it to me. Cheers to 100 shows, guys.
To 100.
Thanks.
To 100.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's just as bad as I remember.
Yeah. it's still Malort, man.
You know, we were doing our past stuff back and forth, get culture, regional stuff, and so you did your thing, and you were a trooper, and I understand all of that. I was really surprised when you roped your wife into it, and she was willing to try it as well.
Oh yeah.
That was funny.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's raining hard here. Do you remember what I sent you guys?
Yes, in fact, I still have a Loganberry can in my fridge.
It was
drank one
really
time.
good. Yeah.
Okay, I remember when you sent that sour in a different
kettle sour.
That kettle sour in a bottle that you
remember
didn't
that, yeah.
mislabel, and we was getting ready to rip this beer apart. You're like, oh, I didn't take the labels off. And me and Jason are both like, the hell is going on here? It was like a Southern beer or something good. I'm like, is it supposed to be sour? What the fuck is going on here? So confused. But on that note, I'll be right back, guys. And we'll get a fresh one.
All
I'll
right.
talk
got
to
it.
you in a bit.
Ooh.
Sorry I stepped out for a minute. Scott, what's going on in your brewing world?
Okay. All sorts of stuff.
Okay.
I've been making essential oils.
Okay.
Of course. And if you look it up, it's a thing called Uncle Jesse's Simple Sour. And that I've got a couple generations of that going on. You can look that up and see what that is.
Okay.
But it's mostly sugar based with a little bit of corn. And then I'm grabbing the essential oils from that. But right now, both fermenters are full. I have an Irish red in one. I've got a dry Irish stout in the other. I know it's not March. I just wanted them.
It's not a bad time.
I know, right? I found myself a nitro setup for $75.
Oh wow!
I got my stout tap I'm going to install this week.
Hey,
a nitrogen tank, and I made the dry Irish stout last weekend. I've got this weekend. I'm going to be doing an IPA, just something to drink. And we have a barrel at the house. One of my friends was giving away a free emptied whiskey barrel that still holds. So we're not sure what we're going to put in it yet. But
what's the capacity?
Fill that with something 55 gallons.
Wow. Okay. So are you doing like a club competition with it or something?
I'm not going to fill it myself. It's going to have to be with the club.
Yeah.
Like 10 people do 5 gallons each. We have a couple of guys in the club that do 10 or 15 gallons at a time. So maybe have a couple of them. Like if we get 10 people, that thing is full. We just need to find a place to put it. My mom, excuse me. Ugh.
Sorry.
Poor guy.
My mom is suggesting the church. She's like, hey, just bring it down to the church. We'll put it in one of the closets. Like, yeah, that sounds.
Interesting.
place for
Okay.
it.
It does fit with the whole monk thing, I guess.
That's
but,
true.
you know.
That's true.
Yeah.
We
Good point. Good point.
Oh, if we did a Belgian, if we did a double, did a
Like
Belgian
or
double,
an
and
Abbey,
then
Abbey
aged it
style
in
or
a
something.
church. Yep, it's church aged. The
Yeah.
monks? Mm-mm. Nope. Presbyterian.
Presbyterian.
So, speaking of traveling, John, have you been to one of the authentic Trappist breweries in the Northeast?
No.
Are you familiar with those?
Yes, but no. There's one in Iowa now too, I think. Isn't there? Somebody?
Uh,
But
Okay,
there's only one in the U.S. and it's outside.
That's what I was going to
Boston.
say. I was only aware of one.
Yeah.
I thought
might
there
be
was
more
like
now.
7 or 8.
No. There's only one in the U.S. and it's outside official Trappist brewery, and it's outside of Boston, and that's where we're going to do our road trip to.
Okay, I need to go over my research again. I don't know where I got 7 or 8 from.
Yeah, for some reason I thought there was one in Iowa for whatever reason too. But you guys know better than I do because you're going to go on a road trip.
All right, I'm looking up official Trappist breweries here. So, let's see. United States is St. Joseph's Abbey in Spencer, Massachusetts.
Okay.
That's the only one. That's official.
Okay. All right. I stand corrected.
Most of them are in Belgium. There are 2 in the Netherlands, and then 1 in Austria, Italy, England, and France and Spain.
So was I thinking of 7 or 8 total, just overall?
There's, let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 13 of them.
Okay. So my number
No,
was
14 of them. Sorry, I miscounted. 14
Okay.
of them.
Okay. Right on.
Yeah. But yeah, we're gonna do that road trip up there to
Yeah.
St. Joseph Abbey.
Spencer, Massachusetts. Okay.
hmm
What makes them official?
I have no idea.
I think I read something about that though.
Yeah, put that on the trivia contest for December.
We will.
There you go.
Yeah. And
Scott, is that something you have any knowledge of? What's the
No.
what's the qualification process or whatever?
I think part of it is that it has to be, I think ordained is the wrong word. It has to be signed off on by a monastery somewhere else. Is part of it is that they have to come
Yeah.
here and it has to be inspected
Mm-hmm.
and it has
I
to be
think
run
that's
to
right.
their specifications.
Okay.
And I think the brewer has to be trained at the original monastery, and like it has to be sponsored. It has to be a sponsored. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
No, you're not far off. You take a look at the page a little bit more. Trappist beer is brewed by Trappist monks, and there's 14 monasteries. So it has to be basically in a monastery by a Trappist monk to be an official Trappist beer. It can be Trappist style or Abbey style is typically what it's called if it's not an official Trappist style.
Yeah.
But the Trappist, officially known as the Order of Cistern of Strict Observance, is Order of the Reformed Cistercians of Our Lady of La Trappe, is a Catholic religious order, so it has to be a official Trappist Catholic monk to qualify, I guess. So you remember that for December, and it'll come back.
Yes, exactly. Scott, what are we looking at here? I don't recognize this background we're seeing you in.
Right here.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. This is my brewery / podcast area, and
Okay.
it has been just a total mess for probably a good 2 years.
Okay.
I mean, total mess. You can still work down here, but over what was it? Summer? Yeah, summer, because I'm a teacher. Over summer, one of the goals was, hey, let's get this into a really usable space. So right now, I'll give you a quick tour here. Right now, it's clean. So we have. Can I flip my camera? No, it doesn't matter. We have all my sound equipment here. My 3 monitors that I'm looking at.
Okay.
Right
All right.
here. And then Okay, lost it for a second. There's no brewing units in my over here. And I'm in the brewery.
All right. A lot of this is looking familiar.
Yeah.
I can't
So is that-
move apparently, or things cut out.
Okay.
Yeah, apparently. Is that a green screen I saw back there?
Yeah,
Yeah?
because
Okay.
I originally just painted one of the walls green, but now I bought myself a separate green screen.
So you can broadcast live from Antarctica and places like that.
I can. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Wow. Yeah. So, I mean, we've done a lot, and we started this during the pandemic, and I feel like we maybe brought some enjoyment to people during a hard time, and very much stand by that and feel like that is something that we definitely can put as a feather in our cap. We tried to bring some happiness to people.
Absolutely.
I do think we have been talking recently. We're going to try to put some more effort into our audio podcast as well, and do that on a more regular basis, and try to make sure that when we do the webcasts here, that we are bringing you guys some topics or some interesting stuff as far as different brewing innovations that you may not have seen before. So that is, I'm excited about the future of both the audio and webcast version of this.
So did we already make the big announcement?
No, we did not.
Okay. Well, George, the floor
go
is
ahead,
yours.
Jason, you're up.
All right. Well, with those facts in mind, with this webcast really being born out of what George was talking about being a mark of COVID-19 and the fact that we were going to a different area than any of us had been to. Just we were all in lockdown, and we found ourselves within the things that we enjoyed doing, and brewing beer, enjoying beer, and broadcasting were three of those. And this weekly webcast, which we've enjoyed for the last year and a half, has really been a mark of that for all of us. And I feel great that all five of us are here as part of this, because I think of the people that had the most impact over a nice place to brew over that time frame, it's the five people that are here. Scott and John, you were our most frequent guests throughout that time, and you brought a tremendous amount to the webcast. So we're very thankful for that on this 100th episode. And I guess I'm beating around what the news is. And tonight will be the last of the weekly webcast episodes of A Nice Place to Brew. We will be moving the weekly format into hibernation. We will be renewing our focus on the podcast formation of this, and we will be coming back to this webcast platform when the time arises that it mandates that we all come together and have a live platform to talk about. And what that time frame is going to look like, it just kind of remains to be seen. But that's going to be the immediate future of A Nice Place to Brew. So no more weekly platform here on the webcast, but we will still maintain our podcasting platforms. And this is not the end. I don't think that's the intention for anybody.
We are already talking about, and I have absolutely no problem with a Christmas trivia webcast, and I feel like we should do that. And Scott and John, you're more than welcome to join us. And we're absolutely going to do that. I just feel like we have served the need that we were trying to do, and as the world is reopening, we want to focus on our audio podcasts and hitting a more global audience in that way, and so that is what we're going to be doing.
And bringing some more focused content. to the All Things Beer and Beer Making
Absolutely.
listener platform that we have.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right.
But, I mean, we'll still be here periodically shooting the shit and having fun. So
Yeah.
no worries there.
This can't be the last time. I mean, this certainly is a milestone for us. And listen, I'm really happy that we got to 100 episodes. I think you all would agree.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
that's the benchmark you have for syndication. So, like, we could sell this to USA or TNT.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. All right. So can I send my bank account to whatever platform picks us up?
Sure. Let's do it.
You hear the stories about how much money goes around for syndication. It is insane.
It is nuts, yes. Yeah.
As long as I get a cut, we're cool.
Yes. Absolutely. All of us.
So, but yeah. Yes, Scott,
Well,
I am definitely still looking for those essential oils in the mail there to be able to try those out.
Yeah.
I see you're not blind yet, so I assume you're doing
Who's
okay
talking?
there.
George.
Who's talking?
I thought it was hand sanitizer at first.
Hand sanitizer,
Well, I mean-
essential oils, whatever,
I mean, there is a lot of boiling in that process, right?
Yes, there's a lot of boiling. Yes.
Yeah, I would think so. Okay.
But I remember you talking when you were first doing it that you said that you had to dump the first amount of it. I don't remember how
Yeah.
much. Yeah.
There's all sorts of things that people say. Like they say for 5 gallons, 50 milliliters is fine. 100 milliliters is fine. 150 milliliters is fine. I dump 200 milliliters every time
Okay.
on
Safe and
every
sorry.
run.
Just to be sure.
Yeah, not just on the stripping run, but on the stripping run and the spirit run, which of course we're talking about essential oils. But I dump 200 every time, because why take the chance that the stuff at the very beginning isn't going to be some of your best anyway?
Right. I understand.
That's kind of like the first runnings of a brew day.
Yeah.
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 Well, yeah, you get most of the hotness up front. Then you get to the center section, which is the good stuff, right? And then most of the flavors in the back. So I think as long as you're not trying to be greedy and squeeze every bit of ABV out of it, just dump
I
some
like
of
how
that.
he did that.
Yeah. So you squeeze every bit of essential oil out of it,
That's
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah.
Yep. Don't be greedy.
Oh man.
I'm not trying to do
So
that.
John, what are you thinking, man?
I think you guys did it wrong. Sorry to see it, but I get it. Podcasts are more durable anyway. You listen to them in the car and everything like that.
Yep.
gonna be
we
good
do
at-
them on our own time.
Well,
Yeah,
thank you
yeah.
for
I do all the time. I listen to podcasts all the time, but
Yeah.
video is video requires a little extra effort on the part of the consumer. So it worked when there was nobody to get together and do things together, and you didn't see people, and it's a good shift to more focus on that
Yeah.
more. And I enjoyed your always offering to let me on. I appreciate that too. It's always been fun.
Thank you.
Well,
It's always been
Jason's
it's
absolutely
always been educational too. I mean, I'm not a home brewer, but I understand the concept, and I've learned some things from you guys on that too.
Jason's absolutely right. It's very appropriate that the 5 of us are here. And Scott, you and Polly were a huge part of it. And John, you've been more than a frequent guest. And I think that, it's definitely appropriate that this group is here for the 100th episode. So
Yeah.
cheers to that. We are not going to go out on a sad note.
No, we will not.
Absolutely.
Oh, John,
We're
I got one
having a
question for
great
John
time.
though.
Let me
John,
get a refill
what room are you
before
in?
we toast.
Yeah. Paulie,
John,
go ahead.
John, what room are you in? Are you in the Will County room or the Cook County room?
I'm in the Wilcon. I'm in the Joliet room. Yeah, that's all.
Joliet
The
room, okay.
That's all the Joliet stuff back there. It's all the Joliet stuff back there.
Yeah. I just happened I've been through your house and that room looked familiar. I just want to make sure because who knows, you may have reorganized since the last time I was there last year. So.
No, all I do is squeeze more crap into the area I have. I'm not moving, not moving any of it anywhere. It's in this room forever.
John,
right.
what percentage of your house is dedicated to beer history?
The only rooms that don't have anything in them are the 2 bathrooms.
Okay. So
That's awesome.
I can vouch for
significant
that. I
percentage.
can vouch for that.
Yeah.
Okay, let me just say that. Yeah. The only rooms that don't have anything in them are the bathrooms. Otherwise, every other room's got something on the wall or a shelf or something hanging or a cabinet or something. Yeah, except for the bathroom.
That's funny.
Yeah. And then you go
More
into
than
his
it should be.
basement. And then
What?
you go from there. Then you go into his basement and look.
I think
That's
the first time
100%.
John was on was from the basement.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a 100%
I just-
commitment down there.
I remember just a big wall of cans in the background.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the basement.
that's the basement. Like I said, anybody's always welcome to stop by if they're in the area.
Yeah.
I've always said that.
He has a donation box on the way out for the museum, and
Yeah.
All he needs now is a gift shop. And then we're
Gift
perfect.
yes.
John, and I mean this seriously, are you working on a book yet?
No, I
Oh,
in my mind, I am constantly working on it, but to sit down and do this part of it is not
Yeah.
happening. Not
has a conversation come up where you regarding somebody that would ghostwrite it with you or something like that?
No. It
is not? Okay.
no. There's still so much research that has to be done, and I just don't have the time to do it because I'm constantly out getting new stuff. What I need is somebody to help with the research that I can't do, like title searches for the brewery properties, for when they they expanded and acquired more property in their expansion and things of that nature. And that's not something I know how to do at all. I need somebody who can, hey, I know how to do title searches, or, I got that handled, and give it to me in like 3 or 4 weeks, and then I can figure out stuff like that. Because I looked through most of the newspapers in the library. I also need to get down to like the Secretary of State's office, where trademark records are, minutes from meetings and things of that nature. And then the third problem is the German language newspaper. I need somebody to translate the German language newspaper, because let's face it, there's going to be stuff that's in the German language newspaper by nature, because of breweries, that you're not going to find covered in the English newspaper, because the Germans were more pro-brewery than what the English were, than what a lot of the English newspapers were. So there's a lot more interesting stuff to be found in some of the German language newspapers than in your traditional English paper. Those are like the 4 areas that if I could get accomplished, it would be much easier to do the book. That's for sure.
What's that ginormous college you guys have there? That
Northwestern?
no, well, no, I was
Junior College.
No, no.
UCLA,
UCLA.
University closest to Larkin Avenue.
No, Jason, it's College of DuPage.
Oh,
okay.
There's got to be like a history student that's going for like a bachelor's in history that could like help you with this stuff.
Yeah.
Actually, the museum was getting a lot of people coming out of Lewis University.
Okay.
They have
there you go.
They have
Right down the road.
Yeah, they've got a strong history program there with the canal and everything else, and the museum was often getting interns coming out of there. But yeah, I need an intern. That's what I need. I need an intern.
Yeah.
I mean, these are all things that could.
It's unpaid, so
these are not things that couldn't be found.
Oh,
like
yeah.
these are all very reasonable things that could find their way to you.
And this is a book I would read.
There's nothing unreasonable in what I'm trying to figure out and get accomplished in order to get to this point in time. It's just it's a time issue. I'm working 8-10 hours a day at the Jewel, and 40 minutes there and 40 minutes back. There goes 12 hours. A couple hours in a brewery on the way home to get some glasses or a beer or some dinner, and pretty soon that's it. Your day's done. I mean, you have to, and then when vacation comes around, let's face it, all I do is go from brewery to brewery. It's not something that's unattainable. That's for sure. It's just how to get there.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well,
So
yeah.
I think we're putting this out to the universe. Like John, I think you very clearly expressed here tonight the missing pieces, and I would be very happy to see some of those come together just from this discussion here.
We need
Well,
a German major and a history major.
Well, somebody who's bilingual in English and German,
Yeah.
an English major, and somebody who could ghostwrite and probably talk to John when he's driving to and from work, because those are usable hours.
Yeah, those
Seriously.
are
Those aren't billable hours. They are.
they are available hours.
Yeah.
I got closest about 4 years ago with somebody who was in real estate, who was going to do the title searches for the pieces of property that the brewery sat on, and then they left. So close I was.
It happens.
Because I mean, and the problem with Will County is not by property; it's grantor grantee. So you have to start off with who owns the property now, who did they buy it from, who did they buy it from, who did they buy it from, and trace it back.
And trace it
Not
back,
by the piece of property, but by the owners. So we're a stupid county in that sense. And I know all those records are up in Carroll Stream, and the rest of them are downtown. But it's a mess to find the property in Will County because of the way they set it up when they did Will County.
Right.
Cook County, you give somebody an address like 78 West, Galena Boulevard, and they can find out every owner just by looking the address.
Right.
You can't do that in Will County. That's it's a little bit more difficult.
Okay. Yeah.
Why Carroll Stream? How did they land there?
They put a big national realtor's office up there, so they moved all the records for a lot of the counties up in that area.
Interesting.
And I don't think the public in general can get in there anymore. I don't know if they ever could. I think you have to be associated with a realtor or something along those lines to even get in to do that now.
Huh.
And that's something that you think would be digitized too. In today's world, you think that so a lot more of those records would be digitized than what actually are.
All right.
Yeah,
So
you'd
what
think that would.
about if we reached out to these guys? The Will County Historical Society. Seems like it's right up their alley.
They're suffering more than the Joliet Museum.
So actually, John, do you know about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? What's going on with that? Is that going to open this year?
I think early next year.
Okay,
March or so.
Yeah, I know they've been. I know they've been dealing with problems with like everything else.
Isn't that in Cleveland?
Cleveland. What am I missing?
No, Illinois Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It's going to be in Joliet, Illinois.
Interesting.
Wow. I did not know that was a
I didn't
thing.
know that was a thing either.
Yeah, it's,
All right.
It's right across the street from the Forge. If you know where the Forge is.
Yes, sure do.
Yeah.
It's actually right next to the Joliet Museum, right there on Cass.
Okay.
Used to be the Buy Right Furniture Store, Goblat's. It's between Juliet's and the museum.
Yeah.
Okay, so what'll be there? Let's see. Styx, the Smashing Pumpkins, Disturbed, Cheap Trick.
I'm assuming the obligatory reference to the Blues Brothers.
Yeah, that would be fitting.
I mean, you got it, right?
Yeah.
Especially if you're going to put it in Joliet.
Yeah.
Well, if you think about it, Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi. Well, I think John Belushi was from Illinois, but Dan Aykroyd wasn't from Illinois.
Yeah.
I was. Where did I see? I saw one of the people on the board last week, and I never knew there were a couple recording studios and record press factories in Joliet. So they're looking for for records that were actually pressed in Joliet on labels that operated out of Joliet, Illinois. And I never knew we had that.
Okay, so we missed a major one. If we're talking about rock bands in Illinois, Chicago.
Yes. Yes.
But apparently also REO Speedwagon, Cheap Trick,
Styx.
Ministry, Styx.
Oh yeah, Ministry.
The Smashing Pumpkins.
Ministry's from Illinois? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I did know that.
They just did the induction for the first class at the Rialto earlier like a few weeks ago.
Yeah, like earlier this month.
Earth, Wind, and Fire, apparently.
Is there an article online about who the first inductees were?
There should be, because like I said, they just inducted the first class. They had a concert at the Rialto. I
Okay.
think Scott Childers was the MC. Yeah, they just did it within the past month-ish or so, month and a half.
Yeah, it was within the past month. John is
Right.
correct on that.
Illinois Rock and Roll Museum on Route 66. Okay.
Illinois
Oh,
Rock
how
and Roll
cool.
Hall of Fame.
No, but that's
Let's see.
This got to be the same thing, isn't it?
yeah,
Inductees
that's it.
include, I found it. Inductees include REO Speedwagon, Buddy Guy, Chicago, Muddy Waters, the Buckinghams, Cheap Trick, WLS AM Radio, Radio DJ Dick Baroni, Bioni?
Dick Biondi.
Dick Biondi. Yeah.
Oh,
And-
Dick Biondi.
Yeah.
And DJ Larry
Who did
Lujak.
Disco Demolition? Was that Dick Biondi?
That was Steve Dahl.
Steve
Yeah.
Dahl,
Yeah. So yeah,
I mean-
they conducted
Yeah.
that class. What's the date on that?
That is
2021. That's all it said. Oh, no, 2020.
June 11th.
Okay, so yeah, just a couple months back they
Yeah.
did that.
It seemed like it was like 3 weeks ago, to be honest.
I know. Well, yeah, time is still not kind of warped in this
It
period.
is still a little work.
How the hell did the Smashing Pumpkins not make the first
I
class?
know, right?
That's
Yeah.
hard to believe.
Like some of them.
Well,
like
you
that,
think
like-
about all those other musicians; they've been around a lot longer than Billy Corgan and his fucking band of
Yeah, but
Buddies.
you're
Yeah.
talking about. I mean, and but I guess do people associate the Smashing Pumpkins with Illinois? No, not typically. But by the same token, I wouldn't have associated Muddy Waters with
Yeah.
Illinois either.
Yeah.
Didn't they just place his house on the historic register yesterday, or maybe in the past week? In the past
that?
week, one of them got their house on the historic register in the city of Chicago.
Who's that?
Might have been Muddy Waters. It's an
Oh,
abandoned
yeah?
house.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I did see that article. Now you think about
Yeah.
that, John. I did see that article. Was it? What? Yeah, well, it was his house, but
Was it her? Yeah.
it was Muddy Waters' house. It's like a tiny little place. But then I know what's his face that has blues, Buddy Guy, but that's not
Okay.
his original location, right? Buddy
Yeah.
Guy's Jabbar. That's
Blues-
like his second or third location.
I found the article.
Yeah.
Blues legend Muddy Waters' former home is now a Chicago landmark.
Yeah. So that's been in the past week that they did that one finally.
Yep.
Wow. I'm glad I know about that.
Yeah, the Kenwood home, which also hosted music legends Howling Wolf and Chuck Berry.
Mick Jagger was there. I know they recorded, I think, in there too. I think the Stones recorded a song in there at some point in time in his small recording studio or something. Yeah, it's
Dang.
quite the place.
Yeah. No, I mean, when I did see that article, I didn't read it. I kind
Hold
of
on.
scanned through it, and I thought
You're
it was
back.
really cool.
Cool.
Yeah, it's really cool to see that it's going on, and they're doing it right on. They're doing it right off of 66.
hmm
So, they're like what, a block off of 66, because 53 is 66, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
They're like Jason. You know where the Forge is in
Yeah.
downtown? It's
Yeah.
directly right across the street
Yeah.
from the Forge.
There's only two or three blocks between the museum and the Forge. So yeah, I know exactly where that would be.
Yeah.
So
So Scott, is there any can Buffalo compete with Joliet in the bands that are represented there? He's thinking.
What was that?
yeah.
Oh, look,
He's thinking.
deep in thought there.
Yeah. he's a music teacher too, so
He is a music teacher.
he's got a depth of knowledge on this.
Can you hear us? Is the question that I have right now.
Yeah. Okay.
He turned his head. He's good.
Okay. I think he's having some technical difficulties.
No, he's thinking. Look at him.
Yeah, I'm getting.
I see the
thoughts.
smoke coming out of his hair there.
The hamster is spinning.
I know. That hamster wheel needs to be fucking lubricated.
It needs to be lubricated, yes. So,
Scott,
are you there, buddy?
raise your hand if you can hear us. Okay, there goes that. Okay.
There's the answer. Okay.
Yep. Scott,
Okay, I can hear you now. I
Okay,
don't know
good.
what's going on.
you
there.
can.
Sorry.
Okay.
All right.
Now I can. Only like in the past 3 seconds.
Okay.
So
So,
we're-
go ahead, George.
I was gonna say we were asking. All right, so we were talking about all these bands that are from Joliet and Illinois. You know, we got Mighty Waters, we got Smashing Pumpkins, Styx, Cheap Trick. You know,
Hey,
you name
Styx?
it.
I didn't know.
Apparently, I didn't
Yeah.
know that either. But
Actually, Dennis Young lives in Frankfurt.
Yeah.
okay, there you go.
And Cheap Trick is out of Rockford.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a story when you finish what you're saying. Let me hear.
Well, what I was going to say, what I was asking was, can, Buffalo, New York area compete with bands?
No.
No. Okay.
No, Google Dolls.
I'm sorry?
That's it. the
That's
Google
right.
Dolls.
The
Google
Goo Goo
Dolls.
Dolls are from
Okay.
Buffalo. That's right.
That's it.
That's it.
And that's
All
not
right.
completely
That's
true.
the only musical act from Buffalo. Is
There's
Goo Goo Dolls?
there's others, but man, you have to really go historical. The
Hey,
big
can I ask you,
musical acts
you know who
from
Bo
Buffalo
is?
are the Goo Goo Dolls, and Harold Arlen, who wrote "Somewhere Over the Rainbow," was from Buffalo.
Interesting.
And Chauncey Olcott, who wrote "When Irish Eyes Are Smiling," he was from Buffalo, or he was born in Buffalo.
Really?
Yeah.
Chauncey.
Interesting.
There's a name you don't hear anymore, Chauncey.
Yeah, Chauncey was his
Don't
nickname.
hear
His
it
first name was Chauncey Olcott. So story time about Styx. Keep it really quick.
Okay.
So I'm growing a mustache out. I have been a couple of times now. People who are friends with me on Facebook might have seen me do a Freddie Mercury thing a couple of times in a row
I
now.
did see that. Yeah.
We do a tribute act to Queen. We've only done it twice, but I shave off everything except the mustache, and I dye the hair, and I dye the mustache, and I do a Freddie Mercury. And one of my favorite comments that I got on Facebook from it, and it wasn't like to me personally, it was a review of the show, was like, these guys suck. All the tempos are too fast, which is true, but we're doing live versions. We're trying to match the live version of a Queen show, right?
Okay.
So, all the tempos are too fast, and the lead singer sounds more like Dennis DeYoung than Freddie Mercury, which also is 100% true. Like, oh my God, yes, they're right, but too bad.
But too bad, yeah.
Like, I'm not Freddie Mercury. I'm pretty sure we know that.
Many people are not.
That's right. I even start the show by being like, I'm your Freddie tonight. I am not Freddie Mercury. I'm not trying to be Freddie Mercury. I will be singing the songs. Please sing with me because, I will not be doing an accent. I will
Right.
not be pretending to be Freddie Mercury. I will be singing the songs to the best of my abilities.
That feels like a lot of cheap shots there. Like, first of all,
I
if
loved
you're
it. How fun
if
is
you're
that?
in a position of being Freddie Mercury, which is no easy task, if you're matching up closely with Dennis DeYoung,
It's Dennis DeYoung.
you're on the right trajectory.
Yeah.
If we were going to do a Styx night, though, man, I would kill.
Yes. And you should. 'cause
Okay.
why not, right?
This guy's facial hair looks more like Freddie Mercury. The voice was spot
You
on,
said
though.
some fun with that, Scott. That'd be hysterical.
So I looked up Buffalo music bands on Google,
Uh-huh.
and the only other one I recognized other than Goo Goo Dolls is Cannibal Corpse.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Cannibal
Apparently
Corpse is from Buffalo?
I didn't know that.
All right.
Okay.
I didn't know how mainstream we were going because Green Jelly is also from Buffalo, too.
Okay, Green Jelly.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's
I
one
did not know
too.
that either. I thought they were Southern California
Yeah,
because they got tie-ins with Tool.
Yeah.
yeah. But
Wow.
that's the only other one I recognize.
But yeah, as far as pop, like really popular music goes, it's only the Goo Goo Dolls.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. We found our way down a musical rabbit hole.
Yeah, we did. We did. It's a typical show, so we went. down a
Yep,
rabbit
exactly.
hole.
So for more like this, check out our upcoming holiday show,
Mm-hmm.
where there will be certainly more of these.
Do you want for the holiday show? Do you want any of my Christmas beer sing-along songs?
Oh yes.
Oh God, yes.
I have
Let's
no
have
idea
some
what
fun
that
with this.
means, but yes.
As
Did we
Freddie
ever talk
Mercury?
about this?
As
No.
Freddie Mercury, though?
No, not as Freddie Mercury.
God,
Every year we have a homebrew Christmas party in
Okay.
Buffalo. We didn't last year, of course, but every year we have a homebrew Christmas party, and every year I do a Christmas sing-along and I write a new song. So one of them was IPAs with Let It Snow.
Right.
And you can
okay.
find that on my YouTube channel, IPAs, or I Want to Stan Hieronymus for Christmas. And then I sent that to Stan Hieronymus, who wrote the book on hops, literally wrote the hops book, Stan Hieronymus.
Yeah, I think I have that one.
Or Grandpa got hung over on a craft beer.
So,
Every year I do a
I
different
need to
song.
hear these.
yeah,
I need to hear
the
these.
answer is an emphatic yes. I think we do after each round of trivia, we do a Christmas beer song.
I'll do it
And
live.
then-
We'll do them
yeah.
live.
I it's an emphatic yes from me.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
I can get behind this.
Yeah.
100%.
Vote of absolute support. Yes.
All right.
I may have to dust off my acoustic guitar.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's been a long time.
I'll have to see if I can't figure out this guy a little bit more.
Yes. Okay. All right. Some musical talents are surfacing here.
Awesome.
So,
putting the
All
band
right.
back together.
We are, exactly. It's episode
Notice the
100.
tank behind you. Because I haven't been full screen. I just noticed the tanks behind Paul. Those are pretty.
Yes.
Thank you, Scott.
He broadcasts live every week from a brewery.
Nice.
yeah.
What's the
Yeah.
brewery in your background here? Is that also
The
Route
brewery that
66?
I work at.
That is a stock photo that I found that I thought was appropriate.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
No, you heard Scott that I got a job brewing beer.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, just, I'm at work still.
That's awesome.
I just had a long brew day and decided to come and every Thursday. It's kind of I can do it here. I don't have to worry about doing it at home, and then I go home and call it a day. Then I have an easy Friday usually.
I
Yeah.
have
Some tobacco and have a good night, right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have
Yeah,
no
tobacco
want
when I get home
ever
and not
do
on
it.
the show. And I roll it really good. Don't you worry about that.
So
Like on that kind of scale and working those kind of hours, I have no want to ever work at a brewery or open a brewery, but I am so super appreciative to those of you that do.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hear you on that.
Right? Like you guys.
I mean,
It's not an easy
Cheers.
job. It's not.
No,
It's
no.
not an easy job at
No,
all.
it's not.
All right, I'll be right back. I need another beer. Give me a second.
I'm gonna get
All
one
right.
too. But for 4 weeks out of the year, like literally 4 weeks. I mean, let's not count also the 9 weeks I get off in July and August. But for 4
Right.
weeks out of the year, my job literally is singing Rudolph for 7 hours a day, and little kids singing along with me, and I get paid to do that.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that. I don't have to lift
At school
anything,
or outside of school?
right? No, outside of school they look at you weird. They give you the
Okay.
eye, like what's that guy doing? But no, in school.
Okay. I was gonna, there's a few settings where that's very much a reasonable thing.
Yeah.
Outside of school, man. If a kid sees me outside of school, I just went Halloween costume shopping today. And
Uh-huh.
a little girl came up and said, "Hey, hi!" I'm like, "Oh my gosh, parents! Where's the parents? Hi, I'm Scott. I teach your daughter music. I work at her school."
Yeah, a tiny child ran up to me.
Were you trying on something?
I've been doing this for 16 years, and since the first minute in my first classroom, I've been super protective of everything like that. Like, hi,
Yeah.
Scott Panfield. I teach music at your school. That's
Yeah.
who I am.
Yep.
I
I totally get it.
Yeah,
like. I wouldn't want my daughter going up to somebody else too. Like, who is that guy? Who is
Uh-huh.
that? I get that every once in a while. Like, too. Like, who's that? Like, hi, I get it. I'm Scott. I teach music at that school.
Right.
That's how she knows me. I'm gonna walk away now.
Well, you said this was at a Halloween store where this recently happened.
Yeah. You don't know who Blippy is, right? Do you know who Blippy is?
No.
Okay, he's a YouTube guy. He makes kid shows, so I wouldn't expect it. Sorry, but I was looking for a Blippy costume because I want to dress up for school, and I need it to be, school appropriate and something the kids will enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
And I really think I could do a good Blippy. He's got a high voice, and he wears glasses, and he's got the similar non-beard beard that I have. So I was looking for that today for a Blippy costume.
All right, hang on. I think I found. Yep, I did. All right.
Yeah, Blippy, 2 P's. It's like,
Yeah.
hi kids, hi, I'm Blippy.
So Blippy.
There's Blippy. Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
He has the same non-beard beard that I do.
Yeah, I think Scott could pull off Blippy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never seen this before.
I have no idea.
He's
Yeah.
very popular at the elementary schools.
Okay.
I bet.
Okay.
I bet.
I would be bothered if you had seen it before.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Fair enough.
Of course, now I've searched it on Google, so it's inevitably going to
Oh, yeah.
You're gonna get.
Oh,
nailed on
you
Facebook
just
now
you just
for
messed up
Blippy.
your algorithms.
I know, right? Yeah. Oh, jeez. All right.
All right. Shall we round it up?
We
Yeah.
shall.
Well, we got two plus hours tonight. Well done, everybody.
job.
All right. Wow, episode 100 in the bag with the audience that really made all this come together. Jason, George, Polly, Scott, John. This was awesome.
Yeah.
And honestly, this is absolutely perfect for episode 100.
You
So
can't end it until I have something in my glass. I always
Yeah,
do
okay.
this on your episode.
Yes,
all right,
yes.
all right.
Go.
So on
I know.
lighter note,
I'm getting down to the bottom too.
Before we wrap it up,
okay.
I know George and Jason. Did you see that house that was for sale in Boise that has a nano brewery in the garage?
Oh my
Yes.
God, John,
Yeah.
did you see this?
I did.
I did see it. I did.
This was God, that was awesome.
That rig is better than I have here.
I saw that. And I was, a friend of mine sent that to me, and I was like, "Oh my lord, yeah, that is worth it. Whatever the asking price is."
Yeah, absolutely, yeah,
525,000.
yeah,
A half a mil.
yeah,
Half a mil.
Well,
but
for-
how
yeah,
much
in-
is that
okay,
equipment?
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was all
1,500 square
equipment.
foot house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
how
I
cool
don't
would
know
that
the
be?
I don't know the market values in Idaho well enough, but
Yeah, I don't think Boise's
Boise
that
is
high.
not, it's a solid metropolis town. It's not the middle of nowhere. It's Boise.
it's a growing town. That part it is.
That
Yeah.
part it is.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't think that's a bad buy at all. A house and a fully functional commercial
Brewery?
brewing rig.
Yeah. I'd be like, all right, I'm interested, but I have to try out the brewing setup before I commit. So I'm gonna come.
I need
over
a couple
for a
brew
brew
days
day.
here, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And we're gonna try it out, and then we'll see.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, like I saw that when that came up on the JBG social page, I was like, "Are you kidding me?" And
Yeah.
I remember David Basile was like, "Oh, there's a nano brewery." I saw that picture. I was like, "They got more space and bigger tanks than I have in my place." All right, am I? All right.
It was on a Reddit subreddit called Zillow Gone Wild, which was.
I'm looking that up tonight.
When a friend of mine sent me that link, I was like, "Do I really want to click this?"
Yeah, who knows how that's gonna turn out?
Zillow gone wild.
But yeah, it was.
I'll tell you guys a story off air, but I've got one that fits in nicely with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
All right. I thought I saw Scott come back.
Yeah, Scott came back and then he just ran off again.
Okay.
Where'd he go?
He did have a glass in his hand, so
Where did you go?
he can't say that beer isn't nearby. So
Wait a minute, he's not in his brewery anymore. Now he's in his studio. This guy moves around more than I do. What the fuck's going on here? Oh, he's sitting
There
down.
he is.
Hi,
There
Scott.
it is.
You can still hear us, right?
Sorry. Yes.
There
Good.
you are.
Glass is nearby.
Yeah.
All right. Signing off episode 100. All right. We'll be back on the audio podcast. We have a trivia episode that will be coming up on the stream in the coming weeks. We will have more recordings in the not so distant future, and we will have a holiday episode here available on YouTube and Facebook in that time too. Thank you so much for everybody who's enjoyed these episodes throughout the last year and a half we've been doing this. There's more content to come here on A Nice Place to Brew, so please stay with us. We look forward to seeing you again. And signing off episode of 100, we all 5 of us raise a glass and we say, we'll just say this all together as a group, shall we? It takes a lot of good beer to make great beer.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
That didn't work at all.
There's a delay.
There is. It's fine.